Republicans will approve them this time. And it's also take two for Michael Franken. For the first time since he announced his second run for the U.S. Senate, he'll join us here to talk about his plans and also those he calls the corporate Democrats. And in the Insider's Quick Six, two Iowans to watch.
From your local election headquarters, this is the Insiders with Dave Price.
This Thursday, we'll find out if Republican lawmakers will accept the second version of the new district boundaries. The maps we had for the past decade, potentially this could be one of those that we will have for the next decade. The Legislative Services Agency, a nonpartisan group, drew these up for the U.S. House and the State Senate and the State House. Now, House Republicans didn't really have to weigh in the first time. Senate Republicans voted down the first set of maps. They thought that some of the shapes and sizes could be better in some of these districts. I asked two political insiders to look at these second maps. So the original maps that we're on right now and the second version, what stands out to you?
Well, what stands out to me is right here with Marinette Miller Meeks. She has a decision to make. She currently represents the first district or the second district, and would represent the first over here, which has a lot of territory that she's run in the past. So, and she has a history of working in those counties professionally and stuff. So I think she's going to be drawn to that district. But you have a home there. This is where she's raised her family, so it's a decision to make.
This is where it gets confusing because she lives and represents the second. The first is now on this new map in the southeast corner, but when you redistrict, her current home is in the third, right?
Correct.
Right in Wapello County there in Ottumwa where she lives here. So how much pressure would be on her? Let's skip ahead and say Republicans do go ahead and accept this map next Thursday here. Will there be a lot of pressure on her to run against Cindy Axne in the third, or do they want her to move into what would be the first?
I think it depends where she's at. I think if she's back here in Iowa, there's probably not a lot of pressure on that. But if she's in Washington, D.C., I think there's a lot of insiders that would say, hey, we like this matchup over in the third district. And then that creates, a ripple down effect with other people who have their eyes on a congressional seat that they think is, currently occupied by a Democrat.
All right, Pete, you saw this. What stood out to you right away?
Well, the thing that I thought was interesting was, and it's on the margins, but 3 is actually a little better for Congresswoman Axne than it was in the original map. We're talking just a little bit, but my folks had told me that her people felt it was a pretty good map, the first one. They were happy with it. They were willing to run it with it, and they thought they could run well with it. The other thing that came out to me just as a political person is Senator Mathis and Representative Bohannon have to be very happy right now because they're not primarying each other to get to a tough election in the general.
Mathis's plan from the Cedar Rapids area was to run in what right now is the first, will be the second. Bohannon lives currently in the second and would be running in the first.
Correct.
But the maps that got rejected the first round had those two living in the same district.
Correct.
Do you have a scorecard following along?
My gut tells me that's not why the Republicans said no to the first map.
Right. Do you agree that Republicans will be more likely looking at the Senate and House districts versus the U.S. House districts?
Look, I think they care about this. I think you want to make sure that these districts make sense, that are reasonable. But I think what they really care about is what these state Senate and state House districts look like, because those are the people who are actually going to vote on this. And so to muster the votes to approve a map, they're going to be looking at those districts.
And in our system, with the computer doing it, these are always going to make sense.
Pete, do you care the way they're split, the kind of powerhouses, Democratic powerhouses, where you'll have Black Hawk and Waterloo, that area up there, Democratic strongholds, you'll have one in the second, and then Johnson County down in the first. Do you like them split up like that?
I'll tell you why I do.
Lynn County up top.
The other map would have created what I think was a you better win district. It was competitive, but you better win it. What I like about this map is moving forward is it's going to force Democrats to have to actually fight in both of them. They can win both of them, which means you have to have good candidates, you have to have the right message, and you have to keep trying.
Okay, do you both agree that just like the current map right now, this potential new map, if this gets approved, you're looking at pretty competitive races, 1, 2, and 3. This one's still heavily Republican advantage, but all in all, while it's shaped a little differently, it's big picture kind of the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think they make sense. What I looked at in District 3 was that it has some territory. You know, when you're dealing with Polk County, you know, you could draw a district that's six counties large, you know. And so having some territory, that's where Republicans are going to cut into that lead that they build up in Polk County every year. So I think the additional counties there look favorable for that.
All right, let's flip over now to the legislative one, because this would be the map that obviously if you're in the legislature, you may be looking at this a lot more carefully. Pete, what stands out to you? Obviously,
Well,
you look at this, holy cow, there's a lot of color.
The things, you're absolutely right, by the way. The legislature, I'll even take it a little further than Craig. They because we do it well, the Senate, the congressional districts are going to be fine. They don't care. They only care about making sure that they either maintain their power or build a base. The couple that popped out to me was the on the Democratic side, the potential Senate race between Garrett and
Claire
Celsi.
Des Moines, West Des Moines.
Yeah, I think those are two senators who describe themselves as progressive. So it's not like it's a different wing of the party. It's going to be a matter of what they can put together there. The other one that's interesting is when we were looking at it earlier, I saw Marty Anderson, who is retiring, but that district would have been drawn in with
in Des Moines.
In Des Moines with a K.O. Abdul-Samad. The thing you have to remember is with the way the party is structured now, because of how Iowa has moved, the Democratic strongholds are going to be in the cities. So there's only so many ways you can draw that, and so there's still going to be Democratic districts, but it's a matter of who's going to have them and who's going to have to run against them to get it.
So in this proposal, you'd have Congresswomen Axne and Miller Meeks in that same 3rd district, and about 6 state legislators would be combined into the same district. So they'd have to primary, retire, move. A lot of decisions there. Coming up next, whether our insiders think Iowa Republicans will go for these.